You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We back at it again, ready to talk some Pelicans basketball. Hope you all had a beautiful Thanksgiving holiday. Shout out to PPR, Big Q, and DC. I am Lexxah Drew, a contributor for the PPR podcast team. Y'all already know what's up. Kudos to all the listeners. Truly appreciate y'all tuning in. So, it went from a nice road trip to a head dropper road trip in less than 60 seconds. At least it felt that way. Had a good win against the Clippers and 2 back-to-back losses to the Utah Jazz. One of those Utah games in which Zion rested on a second of a back-to-back. Let's not kid ourselves here. We should have won both Utah games, okay? We should have won them. But we came up short for the most oddest reasons. Which brings me to my topic. The Pels are in their own way. You know, it's so hard when you are fighting an uphill battle and you look in the mirror and you're asking yourself, well, what's the problem? What's the main problem? And you see your reflection. For most teams in the league, they deal with 2 adversaries, the opposing team and the officiators of the game. For the Pels, it's those 2 parties, and then there's a third party, and that's themselves. The Pels literally get in their own way. And we've heard Zion speak of this. But, I mean, he wasn't lying. That's their biggest obstacle. And the difference between being a borderline playing team and an elite team, there you go right there. Pelicans show flashes of being an elite team. They show flashes of having an identity. But they still haven't put this thing together. They still have not fine-tuned it. They still have not polished their identity. It's still borderline crisis mode. Let's start with the free throws. The free throws are killing this team. What good is it for the officials to give or finally give calls, Pelicans, calls that they deserve when the Pels are not knocking down their free throws? That's on the Pels. Against the Jazz, if the Pels would have made their free throws both games, they come out on top with wins. Rebounds, turnovers, and assists have improved, but the three-point shooting is still a dark horse for this team. Look, opposing teams are not sold on the Pels' three-point shooting. It's too small of a sample size. They haven't conditioned other teams enough to let them know we can knock down those 30-footers. They don't believe, and they have every reason to feel that way. Going back to the blowout win against Dallas, within the 8 games, Pels have only shot about 40% in 2 games in that 8-game span. One resulted in the loss to the T-Wolves, and the other was a win against the Clippers. All the other games were about 30%, give or take, a 10% drop-off. Crazy thing is that the Pels are getting open shots and plenty of space to shoot those shots, but they're not knocking them down, not consistently. But the respect in that department is coming, having 3 of our best shooters getting closer to getting back on the court in CJ, Trey, and Matt Ryan. Coaching is still an issue and could really be a cause of concern for this team really reaching their potential. I hate to say that, but it's true, y'all. I will never understand why a coach would sit a player who has the hot hand. Why would you cool off your own player when they have it going? Doing unintelligent moves like that tells me you're not trying to win. You're trying to lose. You're trying to support the opposing team. And the opposing coaches are thanking you. They're like, yes, thank you. Thank you, Brother Willie. That's crazy. I mean, not for them. It's working out great for them. But as far as with the Pels, it's like, what in the world are you thinking? Taking your star player out of the game for the sake of rest down the stretch when the game is close is absurd. That's just absurd. That makes absolutely no sense. Could you imagine LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis, or Jason Tatum coming out the game in the last 6 minutes of a close game in the fourth quarter? It's unheard of. It's not even feasible. It's actually laughable. I understand that rotations are still an issue, but that right there is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. You know, you miss free throws during the course of the game, but you still have a chance to win. You still have a chance to win. Like, mistakes are going to happen. I don't expect the Pelicans to blow out every team that they come across. I mean, it is a game of runs. You know, they have to learn how to win close games. They have to do that. That's something that they're going to need. That experience is what they're going to need in the playoffs. If we get there. But these decisions down the stretch are not helping us. And it doesn't seem to be improving or getting better. It seems like it's more of a trends that we've seen from last season. That's a problem. Where's the growth? Where's the learning curve? Because I'm really, really ready to see that learning curve with the coaching. Not to mention, even out of timeouts, the plays and just even the flow of the game sometimes, the Pels are still taking difficult shots. We're not getting easy shots. Has anybody else noticed that? Like, I'm looking at other teams, how they play, and they're getting easy shots. You know, I think one thing that we haven't really incorporated into the Pels game plan is throwing lobs. We actually have some athleticism on this team. But we're not seeing this stuff enough. We're not getting easy layups, easy shots, easy looks. And sometimes when we are getting easy looks, they're still difficult. We've got to find a way to get easier shots. Plays that allow, especially in the clutch, that allow plenty of space and plenty of time. We got to get more creative. Where's the creativity? Where's the imagination on the plays out of a timeout or in a clutch situation? It's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The Pels right now are 9-9. They have secured the top spot in group play for the in-season tournament. So there's still a lot of positive things to take away. But again, you have to ask the question, what type of team is this Pels team trying to be? Are we trying to be a borderline playing team or an elite team? I know we're not trying to be a lower tier team. So I didn't even put that in there. But when we answer that question, it'll become clear what we need to do in order to win at a high level. And it's not just the players, it's all levels of the organization. It's not just one thing. This is a mentality. And with that mentality, it'll show physically. And so I'm definitely waiting for that part. But we got a long ways to go. So we don't want to fret. At least not yet. But that's all I got for y'all. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments what you all feel the Pelicans can do to get out of their own way. I am Lexxah Drew, and I'm out, y'all.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all